It's a beautiful autumn day in historic Providence, Rhode Island. Today, the U.S. Club Soccer Organization will crown its first ever national champions in the boys' 14-year-old division.
I think anytime you do something for the first time, it's very meaningful. It's very meaningful. And again, it's an opportunity for our country to be able to see what they're doing.
We believe that clubs are really the entity that develop players. Good clubs develop good players, and that the clubs were not getting the recognition that they needed in the national scene.
The youth development in terms of coaches and competition has made such a big difference.
Really from day one, I knew this was the right thing to do and it would work.
There was a group of club directors who had gotten together, felt like there was too much friction in their ability and how they would manage their programming. And so they got with the original leadership group of U.S. Club Soccer and thought, could we form a different member organization that would be more supportive of the work that they're doing versus try to control the work that they were doing.
There was very much of a disconnect between the state associations and the federation and what was happening on the club side. Players couldn't play up, so you could have an outstanding U14 player that was capable of playing a year or two up, and he was stuck with all the other rec kids at U14, which clearly was no way to develop player talent. And I saw that firsthand at the time I was at the Federation. It was a very dysfunctional program, and nobody was developing players, quite frankly. So we decided that the only way this was going to work would be if we became a separate organization and member of the Federation.
3 months into my job at U.S. Soccer, membership applications for the annual meeting that at that point was being held in July were starting to come in, and we got an application from U.S. Club Soccer. And I remember it in part because Bill Sage was one of the presenters of the application, and I worked with him at U.S. Soccer, so we overlapped a little bit. U.S. Club Soccer's application was particularly ambitious because as a National Association applicant, it was promising 35 states. It's the biggest nationwide membership category at U.S. Soccer, and I don't think to date there had been another application like that, so it was the first of its kind.
We formed a separate for-profit company, essentially it was U.S. Club Soccer, did a contract with the NACSC, and it meant that we could turn on a dime. So if there were an issue that needed to be addressed, Ken and I would get on the phone and that was it. It would get done. We didn't have to wait for an annual meeting or somebody's committee to get together and do something. We ran like a business, and that's what it's continued to be to this day.
We and others have thought there's a better way to do things, but everybody, I think, more than ever now, there's more organizations that are engaged in that discussion, more collaborative, and willing to understand that the moment's in front of us in terms of making some action. It's different this time, it feels different. And the opportunity is much bigger, it seems.
The vision part, I think, is probably shared by a lot of people. The issue is, how do you fulfill the vision? And nobody quite had a sense as to how to get that done. But it's to let players develop to their best of their abilities, have professional player development programs, get all the red tape and the rules and regulations out of the way. Professional coaches make decisions and build clubs as they're best able to do so. Really bring free enterprise to player development for the first time.
U.S. Club Soccer had a bit of a startup feel to it. It was about legitimizing ourselves is how I interpreted it. A lot of communicating about who we were and what we believed in. They're sort of having 3 phases. In that first phase, we were very much, I think, at the crux of that, which was legitimizing ourselves, making sure people understood who we were and, again, what we were about.
With any change, there's a certain percentage of people who are just dead set against it. We're doing fine the way we are, forget about it. And then there's, on the other end of the spectrum, people who are visionaries and think of things that people in the middle don't think about. It really comes down to the 2 C's, culture and conscience. You're building a brand, and you want that brand to stand for something very, very particular.
It it was pretty clear that at its core, U.S. Club Soccer was about moving the game forward. I think that still resonates today. I think it's still true, but everything we did was focused on that. And again, it was about communicating our message and what we believed in. There's 3 core values, I would say, that U.S. Club Soccer was founded on. One is soccer decisions made by soccer people, local decisions made locally, and the sport deserves professional management. That makes us unique at its core. Again, we have a board that's very engaged in the game. We have a staff that's engaged in the game all day. And then the local autonomy of balancing, again, that flexibility as a national organization for local operators to operate based on the needs in their market with the need for a consistent standard in us providing those services.
The foundation and the way it was set up was so good at the beginning. It allows us as a staff to make decisions in real time. If we need to adjust, we adjust. If we need to push, we push. If we need to back off, we back off. And that ability to have some autonomy in how we manage and run our programming, how our staff functions, I think allows us to adjust either proactively, hopefully, or reactively sometimes to what the game is presenting, what the outside world is imposing upon us, if you will. And so, if it's good for soccer, even in those moments where it might not be ideal for U.S. Club Soccer, we have the ability to recognize it, to review it, and adjust accordingly, and just keep moving.
Once we got to different levels at the Federation, we had more seats and more influence. The clear threshold was we had to develop an online registration program. And that really hadn't been done in sports. Clearly, we were not going to hire staff on a state-by-state basis. Had to be done online, had to be done quickly. We were able to pull that off.
If we are simply trying to grow as a nonprofit organization to absorb and consume and put others in a difficult spot, that's just not for me. What I believe in is everybody has a role to play. Every perspective is unique and valued. And the more of them you bring in, the quicker you can get to the best outcome.